Welcome to this video tutorial on variable channel breakout. Before I discuss the concept of the EA, I'd just like to cover the installation of it. As you can see on the screen at the moment, I have the download which you obtained from post number 1. Having downloaded the zip file, if you right click on it and extract all the items, you'll see what we can do with these files. So I'll just go ahead and extract these files. We'll just accept the default area, and as you can see, it includes a template and the EA itself. So what we're going to do at this stage is we're going to copy them into the appropriate areas within MetaTrader 4. So we'll initially copy the ex4 file. I'll just create a copy to put into the clipboard. I'm going to go ahead and actually open up MT4 and we'll put this into the appropriate area. You just bear with me for a moment. Okay, here we have MT4 opened. What I'm going to do is go to File, Open Data Folder, and we're going to navigate to the Experts area under MQL and open up the Experts area. And in this situation, I already have them in there, but we'll go through the exercise anyway. And I'm going to paste that particular downloaded file that we had. So I'll just replace the one that I already had there. So that's copied now. We go back now to our file that we downloaded and unzipped. I'm going to take this template and we'll put that also into the template area. So I'll right click, copy that to the clipboard, back to our MetaTrader, File, Open Data Folder. This time we're going to the templates area. I'll click on that one and we'll copy in the included template that was part of the download. Once again, I already had it there, so we're just replacing the current file. We can close that one off. And we're sitting here now with MetaTrader open. What I'm going to do initially is to go ahead and load that template file. Now the template file itself is simply a file which makes every color on this particular chart black. So I'll go ahead and load that. You can see we have nothing but a black background. There is actually a chart there, but it is sent to the back of the particular presentation. So what we're doing now is we're sitting in a situation where we can load this Expert Advisor onto a blank chart. I'll just refresh Expert Advisor so that it shows that one that we just loaded in, and we'll select Variable Range Breakout and we'll drag it on this particular chart. I'm not going to talk about the inputs at this stage, but what I wanted to do was to talk about the concept of variable channel breakout. Now, variable channel breakout was born out of the concept of not every time of the day is an appropriate time for trading, and the notion of having to have a trade open all the time simply just not a good profitable way to run your expert advisors. My initial thoughts related to the stock market, where you have a fairly significant time straight after stock market open, where for probably the first 20 minutes it's impossible to trade with any sort of authority because the price is finding its ground at that particular stage. But after the first 20 minutes, the market can start to settle down and then establish a particular direction. I'm not talking about every stock. I generally, in the terms of stock market trading, try and stick to the top 100 stocks in a particular exchange. But the same thing does apply in Forex, in that we do have that mad hour before the start of the stock market where even the Forex market is trading in a fairly crazy manner. And the same applies for the first 20 minutes after the open of the London or the European exchanges, and certainly with the US New York Stock Exchange, where there is a period after market open where, after the initial if you like, toing and froing, the market will settle down and start to establish a direction. So the variable channel breakout is all about establishing the boundaries after a market open and setting a trade to take place once those boundaries are broken. So in effect, what we're saying is there is a channel formed within, say, the first 20 minutes of trading, and once the price breaks that channel, there is a profit opportunity. Now, the same can apply with news trading, where you don't trade the news itself, but what you do is you watch what happens after the news has been released. And I would suggest, say, looking at the first, or not the first, but say from the period 5 minutes after the news release to the period ending, say, 25 minutes after the news release, in other words, a 20-minute time frame, and to look at the upper and lower boundaries of the price movement within that time frame, and to set a trade to take place automatically if the upper or the lower channel is broken. Now, these times that we're going to trade on are specified within the EA itself, hence the name variable channel breakout. So you can apply a specific time of the day rather than a number of bars ago. It is a specific time of the day where you are able to place a trade automatically if the channel boundaries are broken. Now, you can also specify a duration of trade. In other words, for that trade to be automatically closed, in the case of, say, for argument's sake, New York, the market opens at 9:30, you look at the channel form between 9:30 and 9:50, and you place a trade once those channels are broken, but the trade only takes place, say, until 10:30, and furthermore you can nominate a particular time where you want the trade closed, or you can run with a stop loss or take profit. So we have the actual EA open at the moment. I'd just like to draw your attention to, this is a summary of your inputs, and it's this area in the white shaded area. Now, I will have a full explanation available at post 1 on what all these inputs are, but in summary, you have your instrument codes at the top, your trade parameters, and then 4 lines. One is a line of criteria for buy entry, one for sell entry, one for buy exit, one for sell exit. I won't discuss in this video in particular what each parameter means, but there will be a full explanation as I explain. I'm just going to go ahead and show you a few of the buttons here that are available. I'll just leave auto trade for a moment, but we will look at backtest. Now, if I click on the backtest button, what is going to happen is that this particular set of criteria as nominated here, which are your user inputs, will be backtested automatically. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to click on the backtest button, and what we have here now is a result of backtesting these particular inputs over the 4 nominated currency pairs, and this is the overall result. You can see here is your backtest report. It amounted to a $530 profit on this particular set of criteria. Max drawdown was very minimal, and the various statistics here. Now, a backtest is a set of just these criteria as you see them here. You might notice if you pause this video, and by all means pause the video at any stage if you need to consider some of the concepts that I'm talking about, you might notice here a little X beside some of these inputs. These little X's indicate to the program that these are items that we want to optimize. Now, in this particular case, we have a stop loss of 30 on the buy exit and a stop loss of 30 on the sell exit. We put a little X beside the stop losses and take profit figures. So if I was to choose optimize now, what will happen is that this will go ahead and optimize these particular figures automatically. So I'm going to press the optimize button, and you can see now that what we've got is a number of passes being made. Now, these particular passes that are being made are optimizing those 4 parameters to optimum figures. And you can see here that as these particular items are taking place, we're getting various profit figures. Now, there is some overlap into the next chart here, but because I wanted to keep the size of this video to a reasonable size, we're not working on full screen just for the purpose of this video. And as I said, or probably haven't said, but should highlight, is that when you run this EA, make sure you run it on a chart which has been maximized for the platform. And you won't have this overlap in that situation, but unfortunately we couldn't avoid it because of the, to keep the size of the video down, I had to keep the resolution to a minimal size. So you can see we're up to pass 47 of 128 passes, and it's running through each particular scenario, and when a better set of criteria appear, it appears at the top of these optimization results. In this particular case, we've got stop losses of 23 and 53 and take profits of, well, we just changed 25 and 39 at the moment. We're up to pass number 72. I'll just let this run. It'll be almost finished within a minute or so. This optimization is quite fast, but you can, one feature you can see here in the hours a day chart is that the trades are only taking place at that 1200 hour, and that is one of the criteria here. Now 1200 in this particular case simulates its MT4 time, and in this particular case we're running at GMT +2, so we're simulating the London market open. So that's why we only have the hours of the day only occurring at that particular hour. Here we have days of week, of course, and the trades are spread fairly evenly at the moment. We've got short trades, long trades. The short trades appear to be more profitable. In other words, a breakout below the bottom of the channel form seems to be more profitable than a breakout over the top. Your wins are 993, losses are 477. And just at the moment, these are based on the original inputs. What we do when this is finished, it's just about finished now, is that the best inputs have been automatically transferred to the standard inputs. So you can see that's highlighted in red. In this particular situation, we have those particular inputs automatically transferred up there. I can click on any of these inputs. For instance, I notice here's a lower drawdown. So if I click on that particular input, those inputs are automatically transferred up there, and the backtest is done on those inputs. So you can click on any of these you like to get particular analysis of that particular set of variables. So we'll go back up to the best one. You'll notice here that what we have now is also an option to write out a set file. In other words, we can take a copy of these inputs and write them to a set file automatically. This was an upgrade option in Agility Trader 2. It's now a standard option. So if I click on that particular one, we can give this a particular name, and we might call it variable range breakout, and we might just put here TIME and say today's date. We'll just put 300916. So when I click on OK, this particular set file is now automatically written. Now I want to talk a little bit about where the set file goes, because MetaTrader 4 sandboxes its file system. In other words, it only allows you to work with the particular area within any file system. This particular set file has gone to a different area to what you might expect. So if we go to Open Data folder, we click on MT4, it goes into this area called Files area. And you can see down the bottom here, we have this particular one which we wrote. So that's where that set file has gone. Just be aware that any set files automatically go into the Files area. I'll just close that down again. So if we were to go back to our inputs, and I'll right click on the EA anywhere and look at properties, this is where all these inputs are that we put in. If we were to go to load, it won't default to where we went. So you'll have to go up to MQ4 and into files and you would load in that particular input. As it is the input that we had there anyway. So when we've loaded it back in, if we click on Backtest, we would get the same results as what we had before. So we've covered Backtest and Optimize. Now I'm going to show you Auto Trade and Scanner with a particular EA that I've had running to show you the actual trades that have taken place. So we'll bring these in. Hopefully this will work for us. Now here we have one that's been running for a while, and this is on Scanner. You can see that we got the green scanning enable button shown. I might also add that because you won't be able to see the smiley face, this is why I've introduced this button here. So you can see that highlighted. Now this is the scanner operating. You can see the last 10 results are automatically shown. Now what you have is an option to click on any of these results and a trade will automatically be opened if you click on the particular result. So if we were to click on this cell AUD, and this is a particular scan result at 10:45, if I was to click on that particular button, that particular result, you can see here that automatically we have a sell order opened. So that is the scanning mode. The scanning mode shows you the last 10 scans that it's found, and not forgetting that these scans can be based on any criteria that you set within your set of criteria here. Now I haven't mentioned this, but this is a forerunner to an upcoming new edition of Agility Trader. Now I'd suggest that you look at the Agility Trader thread to get an idea of just what is coming up in Agility Trader, but this is a forerunner to that particular upgrade. So there we have the scanning side. Let's have a look at the auto trade side, and I'll bring in a particular one that we have running on that mode. Now here we have the auto trading running, and you can see here it has a list of open orders, so it's showing the profit on open orders. We also have an option within the auto trade with the open orders that are showing to click on any of these to manually close them. So it's just a new feature that has been added. So if I was to click on this Euro USD trade and just click on that, you'll see that that trade has now disappeared. So that's how easy it is to manually close a trade. I think at this stage that's probably given you enough insight into the actual expert advisor itself. No doubt you're going to have quite a few questions, so either send me a personal message or preferably put a post if it's in the general interest on the actual thread itself on the forum. Look, thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to hearing from you either on the forum or by personal message.